It started with a smile, a handshake, and a dream that felt too good to be true. But somewhere between locker room loyalty and camera flashes, that dream turned into a nightmare. The story of Cam Ward, once hailed as the golden boy of his team, the future of the franchise, has taken a dark and shocking turn. And at the center of the chaos? The Titans. The very team that built him up is now tearing him down from the inside out. Whispers began just weeks ago. Tensions rising, locker room cliques forming, and trust crumbling faster than anyone could imagine. Fans are shocked. Insiders are leaking cryptic messages, and Cam's closest allies have either gone silent or turned against him. What really happened behind those closed doors? Did the Titans sabotage their own star player? Or is there something even more sinister going on? As cameras roll and tempers flare, emotions are running high, friendships are shattering, and careers hang by a thread. This isn't just about football anymore. It's betrayal, ego, and the price of fame, all playing out under the blinding lights. Buckle up, because tonight, we uncover how the Titans are ruining Cam Ward. The story begins on a quiet Monday morning, the kind that usually passes without incident. But this time, something was off. Cam Ward, the Titans' rising quarterback, walked into the training facility with his head down, earbuds in, eyes fixed on the floor. His teammates noticed. The man who used to light up every room with a grin was now a storm cloud in cleats. The cameras from the team's reality series, Titan Legacy, caught it all. The silence, the awkward glances, the tension thick enough to choke on. "Yo, Cam, you good?" Lineman Trey Matthews asked, half joking, half concerned. Cam didn't answer. He brushed past, straight into the locker room. That was the first sign something had gone horribly wrong. For weeks, rumors had been bubbling online, fans whispering about a fallout between Cam and the coaching staff. At first, no one believed it. Cam was the face of the franchise, the fan favorite, the one they called the chosen arm. But whispers turned into screenshots, and screenshots turned into chaos. A leaked text thread appeared on social media, allegedly showing Cam arguing with the offensive coordinator, Jake Halley. The messages were brutal. Halley accused Cam of being too soft under pressure. Cam shot back that Halley's play calls were designed to make him fail. Fans were divided. Some said the messages were fake, doctored by rival fans. Others swore they could tell Cam's tone from a mile away. Hashtags started trending. Just stand with Cam and Titan betrayal. The Titans' PR team scrambled to issue a statement denying the leak, but the damage was already done. Inside the facility, things got worse. Every sidelong glance felt like a dagger. During practice, Cam's passes started missing their mark. The receivers hesitated, unsure if he'd throw their way or freeze them out. Even the head coach, Mike Talbot, seemed distant. Cameras caught him pacing on the sidelines, muttering under his breath, avoiding eye contact with Cam. Then came the incident that changed everything. It was supposed to be a simple scrimmage, a routine practice before Sunday's big game. But tensions exploded. Cam dropped back for a pass, threw a clean spiral toward wide receiver Leon Hart, and just as the ball hit Leon's hands, linebacker Jace Connor slammed into Cam from behind. Way too hard for a friendly drill. Cam hit the turf, helmet bouncing off the ground, pain flashing across his face. "What the hell, Jace?" Cam yelled, shoving himself up. Jace smirked. "Should have thrown faster." The field went silent. No one moved. Cameras kept rolling. Then, before anyone could stop him, Cam threw his helmet down and lunged at Jace. Teammates jumped in, pulling them apart as coaches screamed for order. The footage aired later that night on Titan Legacy, and the internet exploded. Fans were shocked. Some blamed Cam for losing his cool. Others said Jace's hit was deliberate, a message from the locker room to remind Cam who really ran the show. The video racked up millions of views in hours. Sports networks replayed it endlessly. Commentators debated if Cam was spiraling under pressure or being sabotaged by his own team. Behind the scenes, Cam's agent tried to contain the fallout. But even he couldn't calm the storm. "They're setting you up," his agent warned over the phone. "Something's not right in that building. You need to watch your back." Cam knew it too. The playbooks he received started coming late. His practice reps were reduced, and small rumors began circulating about his attitude problem. Reporters started asking loaded questions during press conferences. "Cam, how's your relationship with the team right now? There's talk you've become difficult to work with. Any truth to that?" He smiled through clenched teeth, trying to stay composed. "I'm just here to play football," he'd say, but his eyes told another story. Off the field, things weren't much better. His girlfriend, Riley, a fitness influencer with millions of followers, was caught in the crossfire. Fans spammed her posts with comments like, "Tell your man to get it together," and "Guess being a Titan isn't all glory, huh?" She tried to defend him online, but even her words were twisted into headlines. Soon, the pressure got to her too. One night, the cameras caught them arguing outside their apartment. "You don't get it, Riley," Cam shouted. "They're trying to ruin me." "Then fight back," she snapped. "You can't just sit there and take it." "You think I'm not?" Every time I try, they twist it around. She turned away, tears in her eyes. "I can't keep living like this, Cam. Everything we do turns into drama. I can't tell what's real anymore." The moment went viral instantly. Fans analyzed every frame, every word, debating whether their relationship was collapsing under fame or if the Titans had somehow orchestrated this too. Meanwhile, inside the locker room, the divide grew wider. Some players, mostly the veterans, had stayed loyal to Cam. They believed he was being framed, a victim of internal politics. But others sided with the coaches, claiming Cam's ego was tearing the team apart. The real twist came when an anonymous source leaked an audio clip to a sports podcast. In the recording, someone sounding suspiciously like Coach Talbot was heard saying, "Cam's a distraction. We need to remind him who's in charge." Fans were furious. The Titans management refused to confirm or deny the clip's authenticity, but the damage was done. The narrative shifted overnight. Suddenly, everyone believed Cam was being targeted. At the next game, when Cam ran onto the field, the crowd erupted, but not in the usual cheers. Some fans booed, others chanted his name in defiance. The stadium was split right down the middle, the air buzzing with tension. Even the commentators sounded nervous. "You can feel the hostility," one said. "This isn't just a game anymore. It's a war inside the Titans." And it was. Every pass, every huddle, every glance between teammates carried hidden meanings. Cam played through the noise, through the pain, through the doubt. But the fire that once fueled him was flickering out. After the game, a crushing loss, he sat alone in the locker room long after everyone left. Cameras caught him staring at his helmet, motionless. Then, barely audible, he whispered, "They're breaking me." No one could have guessed that those quiet words would ignite the next wave of chaos. Within hours, a clip of that scene went viral. Fans flooded social media with support, tagging the team and demanding answers. Others mocked him, calling him dramatic, fragile, and overrated. That night, the Titans' official account posted a cryptic message: "We win as a team, we lose as a team." Simple words, but fans knew it was a dig. Replies poured in, accusing the organization of throwing shade at their own quarterback. The drama wasn't just on the field anymore. It was everywhere, online, in interviews, and whispers between teammates. And deep down, Cam knew something darker was coming. Because when power, pride, and betrayal mix, the explosion is never small. As the lights of the stadium faded and the cameras stopped rolling, one thing was certain: the Titans weren't just playing football anymore. They were playing Cam Ward, and he was losing more than just the game, and just when everyone thought things couldn't get worse. Something else happened that would push Cam past his breaking point. The next morning, the air around the Titan facility felt different, heavier, colder, almost like the calm before a storm that everyone could sense but no one dared to name. Cam arrived earlier than usual, hoping to avoid the whispers and the glances that followed him everywhere. He thought maybe if he just put his head down, worked harder, let his game speak for itself, everything might settle down. But the second he walked into the locker room, he realized nothing had changed. His locker had been moved. The spot where his nameplate had hung proudly for years was now empty, replaced with another player's tag. His gear had been shoved into the corner, unorganized, tossed carelessly into a different locker. No one said anything, but everyone saw it. A quiet snicker echoed from the back. It was Jace, pretending to tie his shoes. Cam's chest tightened. "Who moved my stuff?" he asked, voice low but sharp. No one answered. The silence stretched, awkward and cruel. Finally, assistant coach Reno muttered, "New seating arrangement." "Coach's orders?" Cam clenched his jaw. He didn't say a word, but the look in his eyes said everything. This wasn't a coincidence, but it was punishment. Or maybe humiliation. Either way, the message was clear. He wasn't one of them anymore. Later that day, during film review, Coach Talbot didn't even address Cam by name. Every time a clip showed Cam missing a pass or hesitating on the field to, Albot paused the video and sighed dramatically. "This right here," he said to the team, "is why we're losing. Hesitation kills momentum." Cam's fist tightened around his notebook. He wanted to speak up, defend himself, but something stopped him. Maybe pride, maybe exhaustion. The room was filled with uneasy energy. Some players avoided his gaze. Others just stared blankly, not wanting to get caught in the middle. After the session, Leon Hart, his closest friend on the team, caught up to him. "Bro, you can't let him do that," Leon whispered. "He's making you the scapegoat." "What do you want me to do, man?" Cam replied, "Every time I open my mouth, it gets twisted. Then let me talk to him." "No," Cam interrupted. "You stay out of it. They'll come for you next." But the truth was, the damage had already begun spreading. That afternoon, a sports blog leaked new rumors, this time claiming Cam had refused to attend a team charity event because of contract issues. The story went viral within minutes. Comments poured in, branding him arrogant and ungrateful. Riley saw the article before he did. She called him in tears. "Cam, this is getting out of control," she said. "Why aren't you saying something?" "People think you're the bad guy." "Because no one wants the truth," he said bitterly. "They just want a headline." Meanwhile, in the Titans front office, things were shifting behind closed doors. Sponsors started to worry about the team's image. Meetings were held, and executives began discussing the Cam situation. They didn't want to lose fans, but they didn't want to lose control either. So they came up with a plan, one that would make Cam look like the problem while keeping the organization's reputation intact. The first step was subtle. During the next team meeting, Coach Talbot announced a leadership rotation, meaning different players would take turns being team captain each week. Everyone knew what that meant. Cam was being stripped of his captaincy. The announcement hit him like a gut punch. He stared at the floor as the room clapped awkwardly for Jace, who had been chosen as the new captain. "We just need a new energy," Talbot said, his tone almost smug. "No hard feelings." Cam forced a nod, but inside, something cracked. That night, Riley found him sitting in the dark, staring at his phone. He'd been scrolling through the comments under the team's post announcing the new captain. The words cut deep. "Good riddance. Cam's washed. He was never a leader anyway." "You can't read those," Riley said softly, sitting beside him. "I can't stop," he whispered. "It's like watching myself disappear in real time." Riley reached for his hand. "Then don't let them erase you. Do something." He looked at her, eyes tired. "Like what?" "If I fight back, I'm the villain. If I stay quiet, I'm the coward." For the first time, she didn't have an answer. The next game came fast, and it was brutal. The Titans were facing their biggest rivals, the Falcons. The tension on the field was electric. Every play dripping with emotion. Cam played with raw determination, desperate to prove he still belonged. For 3 quarters, he was unstoppable. Tight passes, perfect reads, leading the team to a narrow lead. Fans started chanting his name again, hope flickering back to life. But in the final minutes, disaster struck. A miscommunication on a route led to an interception that cost the Titans the game. The cameras zoomed in on Cam's face. Frustration, disbelief, heartbreak. Before he could even take off his helmet, Coach Talbot was already yelling at him on the sidelines, jabbing a finger in his chest. "You blew it," Talbot shouted. "You always blow it when it matters," Cam snapped. "You called the wrong damn play, Mike." Gasps rippled through the sideline. No one talked to the coach like that. Cameras caught every second. The clip hit social media before the game even ended. Within hours, headlines screamed Cam Ward explodes on coach and sideline meltdown. Fans were divided again. Some defended him, others said he'd crossed the line. The Titans released a statement saying emotions ran high, but that the matter would be handled internally. Everyone knew what that meant. Punishment. The next day, Cam was benched. Officially, they said it was for rest and recovery, but everyone knew it was a suspension in disguise. Reporters swarmed outside his house asking if he'd been fired. Riley begged him not to go outside. Inside, he paced the living room, fists clenched, muttering to himself. "They're doing it on purpose. They want me gone." Riley's voice trembled. "Then why don't you leave?" "Request a trade." He stopped. "You think they'll let me walk away that easy?" "No, they'll drag my name through the mud first. They'll destroy me before they release me." Her silence said she believed him. A few nights later, Leon showed up unannounced. He looked nervous, glancing around like someone might be watching. "Bro, you didn't hear this from me," he whispered. "But they're talking about replacing you permanently." The front office had a meeting. "They're testing other quarterbacks already." Cam stared at him, disbelief written all over his face. "They wouldn't." "They would," Leon said quietly. "And they're blaming you for the locker room drama. They're saying you divided the team." For a long moment, Cam didn't say anything. Then he laughed, hollow and bitter. "They divided me first." The weight of betrayal settled over him like a fog. He had given everything, his body, his heart, his loyalty, to this team. And now they were turning him into the villain in their own story. But deep inside, something else started to stir. A quiet, dangerous kind of resolve. "If they want a war," he said finally, eyes hardening, "then I'll give them one." And that was the moment everything began to change. Because when Cam Ward decided to fight back, the Titans had no idea just how far he was willing to go. He didn't know it yet, but his next move would shake the entire sports world and expose secrets the Titans never wanted anyone to see. The night was silent except for the soft hum of the city lights bleeding through Cam's apartment window. He couldn't sleep. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw their faces. Coach Talbot's smug smirk, Jace's fake grin, the team's empty stares. He had spent years fighting for those colors, bleeding for that logo, and now they were treating him like a stranger. He sat at the kitchen table, scrolling through his phone, reading the endless stream of headlines dragging his name. Then, a notification popped up from an anonymous account. It read, "Check your email. You'll want to see this." Hesitant but curious, he opened his inbox. Inside was a file titled Titan Truth. His stomach twisted. He clicked it open, and what he saw made his heart stop. It was a collection of emails and text exchanges between the coaching staff and the front office. The messages were cold, calculated, almost surgical in tone. They talked about manipulating media narratives, leaking selective clips, and even testing how far they could push Ward before he breaks. One line stood out in bold, "We control the story, not him." Cam's hands trembled. It was proof. The Titans had been orchestrating his downfall from the start. He immediately called Leon. "You need to come over, right now." 20 minutes later, Leon arrived, wearing a hoodie and sunglasses like someone hiding from the world. Cam showed him the files. Leon scrolled in silence, his face hardening. "Bro," he whispered, "this is nuclear. If this gets out, the whole organization burns." Cam looked him dead in the eye. "Then maybe it's time they burn." But Leon shook his head. "You don't understand. They'll come after you harder. They'll say you forged this. They'll twist it again." Cam leaned back, exhaling sharply. "They already took everything from me. What more can they do?" The next day, he made a choice, to fight back on his terms. He reached out to a trusted journalist, Megan Cross, known for exposing corruption in sports. She'd once tried to interview him early in his career, and now he was finally ready to talk. When she answered the call, her voice was cautious. "Cam Ward calling me? This must be big." "It's bigger than you think," he said. "I've got proof the Titans have been running a smear campaign. I'm done staying quiet." They agreed to meet that night in a quiet cafe downtown. The scene looked like something out of a spy movie. Low lights, nervous glances, and hushed voices. Cam slid the files across the table. Megan read through them carefully, her eyes widening with every line. "Cam, this is explosive," she whispered. "But if we go public, they'll deny everything. They'll try to bury you." "They already did," he replied. "This time I'm digging myself out." She nodded slowly. "Then let's do it right." Within days, her report was ready. It was bold, detailed, and damning. A full exposé titled The Titans' Shadow Play, how a team turned on its own star. She promised to release it the following Monday, but somehow word got out before it even published. By Saturday, the Titans were already on damage control. The team's lawyers sent legal threats to Megan's network. Coach Talbot gave a press conference calling the rumors a desperate attempt by a disgruntled player to stay relevant. Jace went on a podcast saying, "We love Cam, but sometimes people can't handle accountability." Fans were torn again. The comment sections turned into battlefields. Justice for Cam trended worldwide, but so did Team Titans. Everyone had an opinion and no one knew what was true anymore. Riley begged Cam to lay low. "They're coming for you," she said, pacing their apartment. You don't have to destroy your career to prove a point. Cam's voice was low but steady. This isn't about football anymore. They made it personal. The next day, something unexpected happened. A former staff member, a video analyst, who had quietly left the team months earlier, contacted Cam anonymously. The message was simple. I have proof too. Cam and Leon met him in a parking garage late at night. The man looked nervous, glancing over his shoulder constantly. He handed Cam a flash drive. I shouldn't be doing this, the man said, voice shaking. But what they did to you, it's not right. There are recordings, meetings. They planned everything. Cam's pulse raced. Why help me now? The man hesitated. Because I saw what it did to you, and to others before you. You're not the first. Cam froze. What do you mean, others? The man looked at him sadly. 2 seasons ago, they did it to Marcus Hayes. Made him look like a locker room cancer just to justify cutting him. He never recovered. Cam exchanged a look with Leon. The realization hit him like a freight train. This was bigger than just him. The Titans had a pattern of destroying players who threatened their control. The next morning, Cam and Megan met again to go through the new evidence. The flash drive contained audio clips of private team meetings. One recording had Coach Talbot's voice clear as day. Cam thinks he's bigger than the team. Let's remind him who signs his checks. Another voice, presumably a front office exec, replied, We'll leak something. Nothing crazy. Just enough to shake his image. Megan looked up from the laptop, her eyes wide. This is it, Cam. This will blow the lid off everything. Cam nodded, but his face showed no joy. They'll come for me even harder now. And he was right. Within hours of Megan confronting the Titans for comment, the organization fired back. Their lawyers released a statement accusing Cam of breaching his contract and damaging the team's integrity. They even leaked their own spin, a so-called disciplinary file, full of cherry-picked incidents painting him as unstable and disloyal. Sports talk shows exploded with debates. One host shouted, If these recordings are real, this could be one of the biggest scandals in pro football. Another countered, Cam's trying to save his career by burning bridges. That's not bravery, that's desperation. Through it all, Cam stayed silent. He didn't respond to interviews, didn't post on social media. He just trained, pushing his body harder than ever, as if trying to sweat out the betrayal. But inside, he was boiling. Riley noticed the change. One night, she found him in the gym long after midnight, punching the heavy bag until his knuckles bled. Cam, stop, she said softly. He didn't. You're hurting yourself. He paused, panting. No, they hurt me. I'm just returning the favor. She stepped closer, tears in her eyes. You're losing yourself. Don't let them win like that. For a long moment, he just stared at her, then dropped his gloves and whispered, They already won. But fate wasn't done twisting the knife. The night before Megan's expose was set to go live, her network mysteriously pulled the story. They claimed legal concerns, but everyone knew it was pressure from the Titans' lawyers. Cam called her immediately. What happened? She sighed. They killed it. I'm sorry, Cam. My hands are tied. He sat in silence, jaw tightening. Then I'll do it myself. That night, Cam went live on his own social media, unfiltered, unedited. Millions tuned in within minutes. His voice shook at first, but grew steadier with each word. He revealed the emails, the recordings, everything. They lied to you, he said. They lied to all of us. They tried to destroy me to protect their image. But the truth doesn't belong to them anymore. It belongs to everyone watching. The internet erupted. Fans flooded timelines with disbelief and anger. Other players, current and retired, began sharing their own stories of mistreatment. The Titans tried to issue a counterstatement, but it was too late. The storm had already broken. By morning, the team's headquarters was surrounded by reporters. Sponsors started pulling out. The league announced an investigation. Cam sat in his apartment, watching the chaos unfold on TV. Riley hugged him tightly. You did it, she whispered. He shook his head. No, I just started it. And deep down, he knew. The real battle was only beginning. Because when you expose the truth about powerful people, they don't just fight back. They fight dirty. The fallout was instant and merciless. By dawn, every major sports network had one story and one story only: the Titans scandal. The headlines painted a picture of chaos, betrayal, and deep corruption. Ward exposes Titans' dirty secrets, read one. Locker room lies, screamed another. The footage from Cam's livestream had gone viral across every platform, racking up millions of views within hours. Fans flooded comment sections demanding justice, calling for Coach Talbot's firing and begging Cam to speak again. But Cam said nothing. He just watched the storm from his apartment, his face pale, his body exhausted. Riley sat beside him, scrolling through the endless flood of reactions. "Look at this," she said softly. "People are finally seeing the truth." Cam didn't respond. His eyes were glued to the TV. The league had officially opened an investigation, and Coach Talbot had just held a press conference, the kind that made your stomach twist. "Cam Ward's claims are completely fabricated," Talbot said, his tone calm, but his eyes sharp. "We wish him the best, but clearly he's struggling emotionally. Sometimes players can't handle the pressure. It's sad." Riley's jaw dropped. "He's gaslighting you in front of the world." Cam's voice was barely above a whisper. That's what they do best. Across social media, the team's official accounts went silent for hours, then suddenly started posting "Thank you Titans fans" messages, an attempt to drown out the backlash with forced positivity. But the fans weren't buying it. In one day, over 200,000 followers unfollowed the team's page. Protest signs appeared outside their stadium. "Justice for Cam, truth over loyalty, we believe you." Inside the organization, panic spread like wildfire. Executives scrambled to protect their positions. Some denied involvement. Others quietly deleted old messages. A few players began leaking their own stories anonymously, confirming everything Cam had said. One text message from a current player read, "He's telling the truth." They've been doing this for years. The media devoured it all. Talk shows, podcasts, sports panels, everyone wanted a piece of the scandal. And through it all, Cam stayed quiet, almost eerily calm. Then, 3 days later, everything changed again. Leon showed up at Cam's door, looking terrified. "You need to see this," he said, holding out his phone. A video was circulating, shaky footage of Cam from weeks ago, yelling during a private team meeting. In the clip, he looked unhinged, slamming his hands on the table, shouting something that sounded like, "I'll destroy you all." Cam's stomach dropped. "That's edited," he said immediately. "You can see the cuts." "I know," Leon said, "but the internet doesn't care. They're saying you're unstable." Sure enough, within hours, the clip dominated the news cycle. The Titans spokesperson claimed it showed a pattern of erratic behavior, and league insiders began suggesting Cam might face suspension for conduct detrimental to the sport. Riley turned off the TV, her voice trembling. "They're trying to end your career." Cam rubbed his temples, his voice steady but dark. "They can try." That night, he decided to go live again, but this time, not just to defend himself. He had one last card to play. Before starting the stream, he called Megan Cross. "You still have the full recordings, right?" he asked. "Yeah," she said cautiously. "But if you air them, it'll destroy their entire management. You could get sued for breach of confidentiality." Cam laughed softly. "They already breached my life." He hit the go live button. Millions joined within minutes. This time, his tone was calm, deliberate, and unshakable. "They think they can twist the truth again," he began. But they forgot one thing. The truth comes with receipts. He played the unedited recordings. The world heard Coach Talbot's voice saying, "Leak the clip of him yelling. We'll say it's proof he's losing it." Another executive's voice followed. "Good, we'll call it mental fatigue." No one questions that anymore. The silence that followed was deafening. Then came the eruption. Chat boxes exploded. Hashtags flooded every platform again. "Fire Talbot," "Ward was right," "Truth wins." Within hours, the Titans' headquarters went into lockdown. News vans camped outside. The league suspended Coach Talbot pending investigation. Several front office staff were placed on leave. The franchise's owner issued a statement calling the revelations deeply troubling and promising a full internal review. Cam watched the chaos unfold, but he didn't smile. He wasn't celebrating. He just sat there silent, lost in thought. Riley touched his hand. "You did it, Cam. You exposed them." "It, Cam. You exposed them." He shook his head slowly. "I didn't win. I just survived." Meanwhile, the league offered him an opportunity to transfer, a clean slate with another team. Fans cheered, saying it was a comeback story in the making. But Cam wasn't sure. Every victory now felt hollow. Every cheer sounded distant. The next week, he met with Leon at a quiet diner outside the city. The cameras were gone now, the noise fading. but something between them had shifted. Leon looked guilty. "There's something I need to tell you," Leon said quietly. Cam frowned. "What?" Leon hesitated, his voice cracking. "I leaked the first text thread, the one that started it all. I didn't mean for it to go this far. I was trying to get the coach's attention. I thought they'd back off you, not destroy you." Cam's face went still. For a moment, the world felt like it stopped moving. "You did what?" he whispered. "I'm sorry, man," Leon said, his eyes glassy. "I swear I didn't know they'd use it against you like that. I thought I could fix it before it got out of hand." Cam stood up slowly, disbelief mixing with heartbreak. "You were the only one I trusted." "I know," Leon said. "And I'll never forgive myself." Cam didn't yell. He just nodded, his voice soft but final. "Now I understand. The Titans didn't ruin me. People did." He left the diner without looking back. That night, he deactivated his social media accounts and disappeared from the public eye. Weeks passed. The league investigation concluded that the Titans had indeed manipulated information and media coverage to control players. Coach Talbot was fired, several executives resigned, and the team faced massive fines. But Cam was gone. No interviews, no statements, no sign of him anywhere. Some said he'd retired. Others claimed he was training in secret, preparing for a comeback. A few whispered that Hollywood had offered him a documentary deal. No one knew for sure. Months later, a single post appeared on his old social media account. It was a simple black screen with white text that read, "They tried to break me. Instead, they made me real." Fans flooded the comments with messages of support. "We're still with you," one wrote. "You're more than the game," another said. But Cam didn't respond. Maybe he was done talking. Maybe he had said everything he needed to say. As for the Titans, they tried to rebuild, rebrand, rehire. But the shadow of their betrayal never left. Even in victory, the chants from the stands carried echoes of what they'd done. And somewhere far away, in a quiet field, Cam Ward was seen tossing a football into the wind, alone, the setting sun painting him in gold. Not a player, not a scandal, not a victim, just a man who survived the storm they created. The world called it the biggest sports drama of the decade. The fans called it justice. But for Cam, it was something else entirely. The end of one game, and the beginning of another, and that right there is how the Titans went from a powerhouse franchise to a cautionary tale, and how Cam Ward went from golden boy to ghost, then to legend. The fallout may have ended careers, but it also exposed what really happens behind those shiny press conferences and locker room smiles. The truth is, we may never know everything that went down, the deals, the lies, the manipulation. But one thing's for sure, Cam's story changed the game forever. Fans are still divided. Some believe he'll return, stronger and sharper, ready to rewrite his legacy. Others think he's done for good, choosing peace over pressure. But what do you think? Did Cam Ward really win? Or did the Titans take something from him that he can never get back? Was it revenge, redemption, or just survival? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to know whose side you're on. And if you've been hooked on this roller coaster of betrayal, fame, and redemption, don't forget to hit that like button right now. Make sure you're subscribed so you never miss another deep dive into the drama, the secrets, and the stories that keep the sports world spinning. And turn on those notifications, because the next chapter in this saga might just be about to begin. Stay tuned and remember, in this game, no one stays a hero forever. Forever.